In the previous video, we have discussed about early childhood. In this video, we'll discuss about late childhood. Late childhood extends from the age of 6 years to the time the individual becomes sexually mature. At both its beginning and end, late childhood is marked by conditions that profoundly affect a child's personal and social adjustments. The average girl's late childhood extends from 6 to 13 years, and for boys, it extends from 6 to 14 years. Characteristics of late childhood. Parents, educators, and psychologists apply various names to late childhood. Here are the names that reflect the characteristics of this period. Sloppy age. Parents regard late childhood as sloppy age because it is a time when children tends to be careless and messy about their appearance, and their rooms are also so cluttered that it is almost impossible to get into them. Parents also consider late childhood as troublesome age because it is a time when children are no longer willing to do what they are told to do, and they are more influenced by their peers than their parents or other family members. Elementary age. Educators call late childhood the elementary school age. It is a time when the child is expected to acquire the rudiments of knowledge that are considered essential for successful adjustment to adult life. Educators also regard late childhood as a critical period in the achievement drive because it is a time when children form the habit of being achievers, underachievers, or overachievers. Gang age. To the psychologists, late childhood is a gang age. It is a time when children's major concern is acceptance by their age mates and membership in a gang, especially a gang with prestige in the eyes of their age mates. Physical development in late childhood. Late childhood is a period of slow and relatively uniform growth until the changes of puberty begin. That is approximately 2 years before the child becomes sexually mature. Height. The annual increase in height is 2 to 3 inches. The average girl is 58 inches tall, that is approximately 4.8 feet, and the average boy is 57.5 inches tall, that is approximately 4.7 feet. Weight. Weight increases are more variable than height increases, ranging from 3 to 5 or more pounds annually. The average girl weighs 88.5 pounds, that is 40 kgs, and the boy weighs 85.5 pounds, that is 38 kgs approximately. Body proportions. The trunk elongates and becomes slimmer, the neck becomes longer, the chest broadens, the abdomen flattens, and the arms and legs lengthen, and the hands and feet grow larger but at a slow rate. Homeliness. Careless grooming and a tendency to wear clothes like those of peers, regardless of their becomingness, contribute to homeliness. Muscle fat ratio. During late childhood, fat tissues develop more rapidly than muscle tissues, which has a marked growth spurt beginning at puberty. Teeth. By the onset of puberty, a child normally has 28 of the 32 permanent teeth. The last four, the wisdom teeth, erupt during adolescence. Skills of late childhood. The skills of late childhood can be divided into four categories: self help skills, social help skills, school skills, and play skills. Self help skills. Older children should be able to eat, dress, bath, and groom themselves with almost as much speed and adaptness as an adult. Social help skills. Skills in this category relate to helping others in different areas like at home, at school, and in the playgroup. School skills. At school, the child develops the skills needed in writing, drawing, painting, crayoning, cooking, etc. Play skills. The older child learns such skills as throwing and catching balls, riding a bicycle, skating, swimming in connection with play. Improvement of speech in late childhood. There are many variations in the improvement of speech in late childhood, which involves vocabulary building, pronunciation, and forming sentences. Throughout late childhood, children's general vocabularies grow by leaps and bounds, and errors in pronunciation are less common at this age than earlier. While coming to forming sentences, a 6-year-old child should have command of nearly every kind of sentence structure. Gradually, after the age of 9, the child begins to use more compact sentences. Here are some special vocabularies of late childhood. Etiquette vocabulary. Children who have training at home in using words like please and thank you have a large etiquette. Etiquette is the formal or polite vocabulary used in the society. Color vocabulary. Children learn the names of all common colors, and shortly after they enter school, they begin to learn or have training in art. Number vocabulary. Children learn the names and meanings of numbers, including the study of arithmetic in school. Money vocabulary. In both school and home, children learn the names of coins and the value of various denominations of bill. Time vocabulary. Children, when compared with adults, their understanding of time words is sometimes incorrect. Slang word and swear word vocabulary. Children learn slang words and swear words from their siblings or other children from the neighborhood. By using these words, make them feel as grown-ups. Secret vocabulary. Children use secret vocabularies to communicate with their intimate friends. These are the letters or the codes formed by symbols or the substitution of one letter for another. Improvement of comprehension. Children learn that meaningful communications cannot be achieved unless they understand the meaning of what others are saying to them. This provides the necessary incentive to improve their comprehension. This will also help them in the concentration in school, they pay attention to what is going on the class, what both teacher and their classmates are saying. Content of speech. Content of speech will depend not so much on their intelligence as on the level of their socialization. When older children talk about themselves, it is usually in the form of boasting. They boast about anything related to themselves, but generally less about their material possessions. Children also like to criticize and make fun of others. Sometimes they criticize people openly and sometimes behind their backs. Amount of talking. The chatterbox stage, which is the characteristic of early childhood, is gradually replaced by more control and selection of speech in late childhood. Children are no longer just talk for the sake of talking. They talk whether others are paying attention to what they say. Instead, they use speech as a form of communication, not as a form of verbal exercise. Play interests and activities. During play, children develop numerous social skills that enable them to enjoy group gatherings or group membership in the community of peers. Constructive play. Making things for fun with little thought to their eventual use is a popular form of play. Construction with wood and tools appeals to boys, while girls prefer construction such as drawing, painting, clay modeling, and jewelry making. And singing is another form of creative play that older children enjoy. Exploring. Like younger children, older children like to satisfy their curiosity about new things and different by exploring it. Exploring in late childhood can be done with others rather than alone. Exploring in late childhood becomes a popular gang activity. Collecting. Collecting as a form of play increases as childhood progresses. The reason is that it serves as a source of envy and prestige among the child's gangmates as well as giving pleasure to the collector. Children collect anything that attracts them. Gradually, they become more selective in their collection and concentrating on the things that are pretty and different from those collected by their age mates. Games and sports. Children no longer play simple and undifferentiated types of games. Instead, they wanted to play games like basketball, football, baseball, and hockey. By the time children are 10, their games are largely competitive in spirit, with interest concentrated on skills and excellence rather than having fun. Assignments. Assignments are the most part a solitary form of play where individual preferences are more apparent than in group play activities. Here are some favorite achievements of late childhood. Reading. Children prefer books and the children's magazines that stress adventure, comic books, and comic strips. Regardless of intellectual level, almost all children enjoy comic books and comic strips, whether humorous or adventure oriented. Movies. Movie attendance is one of the favorite gang activity of late childhood, although some children attend alone or with family members. Radio and television. Watching television is one of the favorite amusements of most older children. Radio is less popular than television among older children, although they do enjoy listening to music or tuning into sports events that is not presented on television. Daydreaming or fantasizing. Children who are lonely at home and who have few playmates or friends often assume themselves by daydreaming. Concepts in late childhood. Children gradually generalize their moral concepts so that they refer to any situations. And they also discover that social group attaches different degrees of seriousness to different acts. This knowledge is incorporated in their moral concepts. Here are some common categories of concepts. Life. Children find it difficult to understand that many things that move are not alive. They become increasingly aware that movement is not the sole criteria of life. Death. Children have a good understanding of the meaning of death, and the emotional weighting of their concepts of death is colored by the reactions of those around them. Life after death. Concepts of life after death depends mainly on the religious instruction children receive on what their friends believe. Bodily functions. Children begin to understand or study hygiene in elementary school. Many of the concepts about bodily functions are inaccurate and incomplete. Space. By using scales and rulers, children learn the meaning of ounces, pounds, inches, feet, and even miles. From reports of space exploration in the mass media, they develop concepts about outer space. Numbers. Older children use money and work out arithmetic problems. By the time they are 9 or 10, children understand more concepts up to 1000 and beyond. Casualty. Physical concepts are usually developed earlier than psychological concepts. Money. As older children use money, they understand the value of coins and various bills. Time. The schedule of school day enables children to develop concepts of what they can accomplish in a given period of time. Self. Children understand themselves by seeing through the eyes of their teacher and classmates, and when they compare their abilities or achievements with those of their peers. Sex roles. Children, both boys and girls, not only develop clear concepts of sex roles but also learn that male role is apt to be considered more prestigious than the female role. Social roles. Children are aware of their peers' social, religious, racial, and socio-economic status, and they accept cultural stereotypes and adult attitudes toward these statuses. Beauty. Older children tend to judge beauty in terms of group standards rather than according to their own aesthetic standards. The comical. Children's concepts of comical are based on what they themselves can comprehend. Discipline for older children. Discipline plays an important role in the development of child. Here are some essentials of discipline for older children. Aid in building a moral code. While teaching a child the right and wrong, it should emphasize the reasons why certain patterns of behavior are acceptable and why others are not. Rewards. Rewards such as praise or a special treat for handling a situation well and showing that they have behaved correctly, it will also help them to motivate children to repeat the approved behavior. Punishment. Like rewards, punishment must be developmentally appropriate and administered fairly. It must also motivate the child to conform to social expectations in the future. Consistency. Good discipline is always consistent. What is right today is right tomorrow and the next day. A wrong act should receive the same punishment every time it is repeated, and the right act should be rewarded. Interest in late childhood. Because of differences in abilities and experiences, the interests of older children vary from those of younger children. Here are some common interests. Appearance. Older children are interested in their looks only if they are different from their age mates. Children have definite color preferences in clothing. They are interested in new clothing and that must be like that owned by their friends. Religion. Older children who attend Sunday school may have less interested in it, although they still enjoy seeing their friends. The human body. Because they are unable to observe most bodily functions directly, older children try to satisfy their curiosity about what's going inside the body by asking questions, reading books, or looking at illustrations. Health. When children are ill or have a chronic illness such as asthma, they are interested in health. Boys especially regard such interest as a sign of sissy. Sex. Older children want to know more details about the relations between sexes and the birth process. School. Children are very enthusiastic about school at first, but by the end of the second grade, they may develop bored, the critical attitudes toward the academic work, though they still like the non academic aspects of the school. Future vocation. Early interest in the future vocations is centered on jobs children regard as glamorous, exciting, and prestigious. Status symbol. As children growing, they realize the importance of socioeconomic status. They become more interested in visible symbol of socioeconomic status of their families, such as cars or large houses. Autonomy. Autonomy is the right or condition of self government. How much autonomy older children are interested in depends mainly on how much their friends have. If they have as much or more than their friends, they are usually satisfied. Conditions contributing to deterioration in family relationships. Attitudes toward parenthood. Parents who perceive their roles unfavorably and feel that the time, effort, and money expended on their children are unappreciated, tend to have poor relationships with their children. Parental expectations. By the time children enter school, many parents have high expectations about the quality of their schoolwork and the amount of responsibility they assume in the home. When children fail these expectations, parents often criticize, nag, and punish them. Child training methods. Authoritarian child training, commonly used in large families, and permissive discipline, used mainly in small families, both lead to friction in the home and feelings of resentment on the child's part. Democratic discipline fosters good family relationships. Socioeconomic status. If children feel that their homes and possessions compare unfavorably with those of their friends, they often blame their parents, and the parents tend to resent this bitterly. Parental occupations. How peers feel about their father's occupation influence children's feelings both about the occupation and about their fathers. If the mothers work outside the home, children's attitude toward their mothers are colored partly by how their friends feel about women working outside the home. Changed attitudes towards parents. From contacts with their friends' parents, and as a result of what they read in books or see in television or in the movies, children build concepts of an ideal mother and father. Sibling friction. Older siblings frequently criticize the appearance and behavior of the younger child, who in turn likes to tease and bully even younger siblings. Changed attitude toward relatives. Older children enjoy being with relatives less than they did when they were younger and tend to regard them as too old or too bossy. They also protest and claim that family gatherings bore them. Step parents. Older children who remember their real parent who is no longer in the home usually resent a step parent and show it by critical, negativistic, and generally troublesome behavior. Hazards. Hazards of late childhood are both physical and psychological. Physical hazards includes illness, homeliness, obesity, awkwardness, accidents, physical disabilities. Whereas psychological hazards includes speech, sex role typing, emotional, conceptual, social and play. Let's first discuss about physical hazards. Illness. Older children suffer mainly from occasional colds or stomach upsets which rarely have any lasting physical effects. Obesity. Obesity in older children is often due to overeating, especially carbohydrates. Obese children are more prone to diseases like diabetes. Accidents. Even when accidents leave no permanent physical scars, they leave psychological scars. Older children who experience more accidents usually learn to be more cautious. Physical disabilities. Many physical disabilities are the after effect of an accident and thus are more common among boys than girls. Awkwardness. Older children begin to compare themselves with their age mates. They often discover that their awkwardness and clumsiness prevent them from doing what their playmates do. As a result, they start to think of themselves as inferior to their playmates. Homeliness. Homeliness can be and often is a hazard if other people react unfavorably and communicate their feelings by the way they treat homely children. Physical attractiveness is also important in social situations. On the whole, attractive children are better liked by their age mates than those who are less attractive. Psychological hazards of late childhood. Speech hazards. There are four common speech hazards in late childhood. First, a smaller than average vocabulary handicaps children in their schoolwork. Second, speech errors such as mispronunciation, and grammatical mistakes and speech defects. Third, children who have difficulty speaking the language used in their school environment. Fourth, egocentric speech. Emotional hazards. Children are considered immature by both age mates and adults if they continue to show unacceptable patterns of emotional expressions such as temper tantrums. Social hazards. There are 5 types of children whose adjustments are affected by social hazards. First, children who are rejected or neglected by their peer groups. Second, children themselves think that they are different from their peer group. Third, geographically or socially mobile children. Fourth, children against whom there is a group prejudice because of their stereotypes. Fifth, followers who want to be leaders become resentful of their group members. Play hazards. Children who are discouraged from fantasizing because it is a waste of time or from creative activities in their play develop the habit of being rigid conformists. Conceptual hazards. Children who have idealized self concepts are usually dissatisfied with themselves as they are and with the ways others treat them. Hazards in sex role typing. There are 2 common hazards in sex role typing in late childhood. The first hazard is likely to develop when children grow up in homes where parents play sex roles that are different from those of their age mates' parents. And the second one is when boys are expected to play egalitarian roles and girls traditional ones. Thank you for watching this video and stay tuned to know more concepts of developmental psychology.